the president of the Baltimore Orioles, in Andy MacPhail. It's always a pleasure to have him on the program as we continue here on IP and MLB Network Radio. Andy, good to talk to you in person for a change and to have you on board on the set. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So, Andy, let's tell us about the deal. You just got back from the podium here at the winter meetings announcing you acquired a 35-40 home run bat for the middle of your lineup.
Yeah, well, we were anxious to improve our offense this offseason, and we've had a variety of conversations, really continue to have a variety of conversations to try to do just that. In Mark Reynolds, we have somebody that, had he been with us last year, would have led our club in runs and home runs and RBIs and walks, and we're all aware of some of the off year he had in terms of batting average and the strikeouts, which are part of the game, which seem to be increasingly a bigger part of the game every year. But we did need something particularly to combat left-handed pitching, which we think our division is getting nothing but more of over time. So we were looking to be a little more productive against the left-handed starter, and we think Mark does just that for us.
Now, a guy who was kind enough to join me just last week before Thanksgiving, the skipper for the Baltimore Orioles, Buck Showalter, also joins us set. And, Buck, first of all, welcome to the program. And second of all, let me ask you about your excitement to have a player with the caliber of Mark Reynolds.
Well, it's something at this point we don't have. We're, obviously you have to give up quality to get quality. We think we've done a little bit of both. And like Andy said, the Diamondbacks did their homework, and we think we did. And he would have led us in home runs and walks and runs scored in a lot of different categories. I don't know if that's a good reflection on us where we were last year offensive, but you realize that, it was one of the things that Andy had really targeted to try to get better at. He's 27 years old with under control for 2 or 3 years, and just puts us in a good place as we go forward. It also gets him back to the Maryland, Virginia area, going to the University of Virginia, and that's always good for players. We're happy to have him and Kathleen and Jacob in the Oriole family.
Andy, talk to us about this free agent market. I know that you've been out there with a lot of different names. We don't have to get into the specifics. But, when you're in the same division as the Red Sox and the Yankees and the Rays and the Blue Jays, not going to be easy to get some of the top free agents to say, Baltimore's my first choice, which puts you in a position to really either you develop it or you trade for it or you find the right guy. How much of a challenge has that been? And what was your reaction to the Washington signing of Jason Worth?
Well, I think you're exactly right, Jim, to this point. I mean, you have 3 different legs to try to improve your team: free agency, development and scouting, and trades. Free agency has not been as productive for us as the other 2 have been, pretty much based on just what you said at this point. I think we need to make our franchise more attractive, and I think that's well possible if we're able to sustain the last 2 months like we had with Buck, where we had the second best record in the American League. I think that will come about. And there's certainly nothing inherent with the city of Baltimore that would be, demeaning. I think the one thing we always face is in the American League East, they know they're going to be facing some high payroll, very talented teams, and if they're up for the challenge, we're delighted to have them. And maybe that's the best case. Maybe we should. We try to. Maybe we need to continue to focus on those guys who are up for that challenge.